The Manage Students screen allows the teacher to manage the enrollment of their students in their gradebooks, manage the assignments that the students are responsible for, transfer gradebook scores for students that move from one linked gradebook to another, and update the sort order of the students in the gradebook. This screen can be found in the Manage Gradebook screen. From the dashboard, click on the Manage Gradebook link, and then click on the Manage Students tab. A message displays at the top of the Manage Students screen explaining that the start and end dates of the students' enrollment in the gradebook determine what assignments the students are responsible for. We will go into this in greater detail later in this video. If there are any students that are pending to be added or dropped from a gradebook, then there will be a red message with the Add Students or Drop Students links. Clicking on either of these links brings up the same Enters Leaves window that opens up when clicking on the Add Drop Students button on the dashboard. The only difference with the Manage Students links is that clicking on the Add Students button will select the All Entering Students link, and clicking on the Drop Students button will select the All Leaving Students link. If one of these links lists multiple gradebooks, I can click on the individual gradebook to view and update only those students. The prompts to add or exit students from the gradebook in the Enters Leaves window are created as the school office enrolls or unenrolls students from the classes. In this example, we have 4 students enrolling into 3 different gradebooks several weeks after school has started. Notice also that the student entering the 4th period English class is actually transferring from this teacher's 3rd period class to the 4th period class. Before adding or dropping students from the gradebook, review their start and end dates. These dates will determine which assignments the students are responsible for. The system will count assignments with due dates that fall within the student's start and end dates in the student's overall scores. Adjust the dates if necessary before adding or dropping the student. In this example, for the students entering the classes, perhaps the assignment that was due on 9/11/2014 was the culmination of a chapter, and these students will not be responsible to make up that work. So I will adjust their start date in the gradebook to 9/12/2014, either by typing the new date in the field or by using the date picker. At this point, I can either add all of the students in at once using the Add All Students button, or I can use the Action drop-down to select either Add or Do Not Add for each student and then click on the Save Changes. For the students that are dropping the class or transferring from one period to another, once again, review the start and end dates to make sure they reflect the assignments that the students are responsible for. Then in the Action column, select either Drop or Keep. Once the selections have been made, click on Save Changes. Switching over to the Scores by Class screen, notice that Amy has Not Applicable indicated on all assignments prior to 9/12/2014, so the first assignment she is responsible for is the Chapter 2 worksheet, and Allison has Not Applicable for assignments after 9/11/2014, which is the last day she was enrolled in this 3rd period class. Once all of the pending enters and leaves have been addressed, the red prompt indicating that there are students that must be added or dropped from your gradebooks disappears from the screen. One of the students in the previous example, Allison, transferred from the 3rd period English 9 class to the 4th period English 9 class. These gradebooks are linked, and the students in these classes are receiving identical assignments. I could transfer all of Allison's third period assignment grades to the fourth period gradebook. To do this, I will select Transfer in the Action dropdown. In the fourth period gradebook, which is the class that she just moved into. A student transfer screen will come up listing the linked gradebook that the student was in. Select the old gradebook under the Select Gradebook to Pull From list, then click on the Transfer button. Select OK in the confirmation screen to begin the transfer. Another message will come up when complete. Be very careful when transferring a student's assignment scores from one linked gradebook to another. You need to be in the new gradebook and pull the scores from the old gradebook. Going to the Scores by Student screen, we can see that Allison's scores in her old third period gradebook have been transferred to her new fourth period gradebook. I'm going to switch to an elementary gradebook to demonstrate another way that students may be entered into a gradebook. Teachers can import any student into their gradebook if the system administrator has set up this option for the school in Portal Options. If this option is available, you will see an Add Students Not in Your Classes button towards the top of the Manage Students screen. Typically, this option is used in an elementary school where some teachers are instructing students that are not in their class. For example, perhaps the fourth grade teachers in Golden Eagle Elementary each teach a subject to all of the fourth grade students in the school, not just their homeroom students. Perhaps I teach art to the entire fourth grade class, another teacher teaches science, and a third teaches PE to all of the students. I'm going to add an art gradebook to demonstrate this option. Now click on Manage Students and the Add Students Not in Your Classes button to add students to this gradebook that are not in my homeroom class. In the Add Students window, I have the option to search for a student by name by selecting Search by Student, typing in the student's name in the search box, and clicking on the search icon. Or I can search by class by clicking on the Search by Class option, selecting the class, and clicking on the search icon. Notice that only students within my specified grade range will appear in the list. This specified grade range is set on the low and high grade values in the Teachers form in Aries. Select the students that will be added into the gradebook by clicking in the checkbox next to their name. To deselect a student, click in their checkbox again, and the check will go away. To clear all selections without saving, click on the Clear button. When all of the students have been selected, click on the Add Students button, and those students will be added to the gradebook. Click on the Close button to exit this form. By default, the start date for the students will be the current date. Adjust this date if necessary. I am going to go back to the Secondary English Gradebook to continue our review of the Manage Students screen. The Manage Students screen lists all of the students in the selected gradebook. Use the scroll bar to the right of the screen to scroll through the list of students. The status column indicates if a student is active, dropped, or not added. There are two places to drop a student. The first area can be found either on the dashboard or on the Manage Students screen in the Enters Leaves window. The second area is within the body of the Manage Students screen. To drop a student, update the drop date to make sure that the student's assignments that are due after the student left do not count against the student's total score in the gradebook. Let's say that Malia was in the gradebook long enough to be responsible for the first assignment, which has a due date of 8/19/2014. Currently on the Scores by Class page, she has many missing assignments and her overall grade is an F. I'm going to make her drop date 8/20/2014 in the Manage Students screen. And then in the Action column, I'm going to select Drop. Now, on the Scores by Class page, the assignments that were due after 8/20/2014 indicate that they are not applicable for Malia, and her overall grade in the gradebook has improved. Once the student is dropped, his or her record goes down to the bottom of the list and is highlighted in yellow. Also notice that dropped students have the ability to be re-added into the gradebook. So if I accidentally dropped Meredith, I can add her in again by selecting Add in the drop-down. You also have the ability to delete a student from the gradebook. The difference between deleting a student and dropping a student is that when a student is deleted, all of their scores are also deleted. It is as if they were never in the gradebook. When a student is dropped, their scores remain in the gradebook. Deleting a student from the gradebook is permanent and not recoverable, so do this with caution. To delete a student, you will need to select the Allow Deletes checkbox at the top of the screen. Then the option to delete will become available in the Action drop-down. The Manage Students screen has a Sort column, which affects how students are listed in the Scores by Class and Scores by Assignments pages. The default sort order is alphabetical by last name. A custom sort order can be assigned to the students by clicking in the Sort column and changing the sort number for the student. If I want Christina and Danielle to be at the bottom of the list, then I could change their sort numbers to 40 and 41. Now when I go to the Scores by Class page, notice that Christina and Danielle are at the top of the list of students, but when I select Sort by Student Custom Sort, Christina and Danielle go to the bottom of the list. In the Scores by Assignment screen, click on the down arrow to display more options and select the Sort Students by Custom Sort field instead of Name option to resort the students. After the Sort column, the Manage Students screen lists the student's permanent ID, name, gender, and grade. These fields are informational only and cannot be edited. However, every column heading on the Manage Students screen can be sorted. Hovering over the header reveals that the header is a link. Clicking on the header will sort the rows in either ascending or descending order. The start date and end date fields can be edited either by clicking in the field and entering a date, or by using the date picker. These fields should be maintained to reflect when the student was enrolled in the gradebook and which assignments the student is responsible for, as I described earlier in this video. The Scores by Students screen provides a quick link to the Manage Students screen. In this example, Shannon was dropped from the gradebook on 8/28/2014. So Not Applicable appears on all assignments after 8/28, and I am not able to enter a grade for these assignments. The blue information bar at the top of the page contains a link to the Manage Students screen, where I can update Shannon's start and end dates if one of these dates is incorrect. Perhaps I had made an error when I dropped Shannon from the gradebook, and she really was responsible for the assignment that was due on the 29th. I can update her end date in the gradebook and then go back to the Scores by Student screen to enter a grade for the assignment that is due on the 29th. As the school year progresses, the gradebook enrollment can be maintained using the Enters Leaves screen and the Manage Students screen. This concludes the Manage Students video. For more information on other aspects of the gradebook, please review our documentation or view the specific videos for each topic.